Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome back to Crash Landing with Light. And today, we're going to do a bit of talking, a little bit of working. Primarily, we're going to be renovating this here mob farm. It's not going to be serious renovation. We just need to get rid of all of this dust. And, as you saw, when we were in the F5 mode, I'm wearing my pretty red booties, such that I can get around here without, being carted around by all these conveyor belts. Now we need to close this area up as our first order of business. I might come back and use a different block to close this up. I might go back to the junglewood planks here, but we'll see. Okay, now that we've got that, we'll be able to replace that. We're going to change up the orientation of these conveyor belts as well, but we can do that after everything else is done. Oops. So you might be wondering why the renovation, because this thing has been working really well for really long. Why would I change it? Well, that's because of the next big project. The next big project, Project Genesis. I do like coming up with ridiculous names for the various things that I do. But if you're familiar with the Star Trek universe, and I imagine quite a few of you are, I don't want this to remain a dusty, dead planet. SETI Alpha 6 sort of thing. Or was it 5? I want to return life in general to this planet, but more than that, I want it to become a nice, normal planet. And that includes all of the non-living stuff a normal planet would have. In an earlier episode, I commented on an MFR device that did something that only that MFR device could do. Well, that particular device is the mining laser. Let's take a look at that guy. So we've got the laser itself and its pre-chargers. These pre-chargers take pink slime, so we're going to have to set up the slaughterhouse, which I'm going to do on this farm. You can slaughter normal mobs, and then I'll get meat and pink slime. So that'll be good. Other than that, some really expensive cards, these glowstone illuminator things, which aren't too bad. But what it gives me that nothing else that I know of will are actual ores. None of this dust or cracked or broken or whatever nonsense. Real, honest-to-goodness ore. Now, you're very well aware that I don't need the resources from it. What I want is the actual ore block that I could put into the ground such that we have ores, like a regular planet would. So one of the significant parts of getting the ore into the ground is first getting it. So that's what we're going to do with our phenomenal cosmic power over there. Because laser drills are really expensive to run. They create ore out of nothing. In certain mod packs, you do it to get the resources. But this one, you don't really need that for the resources. Resources are scarce early game when you've got Ex Nihilo, because there literally is nothing. But once you get going, they're vastly more abundant than in pretty much any other type of mod pack. Or in vanilla, even. You can get so many of pretty much anything with Ex Nihilo once you've got a bit of automation. And it doesn't even take all that much automation to get ridiculous amounts of everything. Do I have bones on me? I don't. Let's see if we can make this jump. We made it! We need some bones to be able to repair our shovel. Okay. Now, someone said that this should work. Hey, it does. Oh, but it doesn't make the fun sounds. There we go. So yes, need the laser drill to get the ores. Oh, that was no good. And then once we've got the ores, we're also going to need a metric buttload of stone to fill in all of the gaps. I have an idea for a stone generator. It'll use blazing pyrotheum, of all things. Now, if you have a particularly good stone generator that you enjoy using, let me know. I know that I could use my cobble generator with some sort of furnace to generate a bunch of cobblestone and then cook it up to make smooth stone. I personally don't want to go through that extra step if I don't have to. And my pyrotheum-based generator isn't going to need that. So if you've got something better, well, you're probably not sure if it's better, but if you've got something that you think is really awesome, let me know. I would be happy to see if I think it's better, or I could build yours and mine and set them to race and see which one actually generates smooth stone faster. Now, it wouldn't necessarily be a fair race if one of them took way more supplies than the other. So I will try to make them comparable resource-wise, such that it is a relatively fair race. So saying, yeah, make a giant ziggurat of all sorts of things, enough to make you octuple compressed cobble, and then throw it into... And I don't know what I might throw it into. Hello? Come on, spider. What are you doing? So, about that ziggurat capable of making octuple compressed cobble. And then throw it... Yeah, that's huge and ridiculous, and I still might do it, but it might not be a fair race. And the reason I don't want to smelt up all of the stone is because that's how it's always done. And, well, I do like doing things a little off the beaten path. Sometimes I do end up exactly where you expect. Quite a few of you were expecting that wither farm to be, you know, a wither farm. But if I can make something that generates stone directly and collects stone directly, I think that would be more interesting. And then once we've got ourselves stone and ores, we need a way of being able to place them. I haven't quite done the research yet, but I have a feeling it should be good. I want to use the drones. I know they can dig out all of the dust in an area. That's not going to be a problem, which is why we're doing this renovation. I want to be able to just tell the drones, get rid of every block of dust in this 1,000 by 1,000 box, and then just set them to do their task and forget about them. They just go around doing their work. I'll make several extra drones for that. Probably give them a couple of speed upgrades as well. And then they'll go and clear out all the dust. What I'm hoping is that they can place blocks without a block to place them against. The trouble that I've had with various things that do block placements is not necessarily knowing exactly the mechanics. Like with the Steve's Factory Manager, the block gate can place wither skulls, as someone was nice enough to tell me. They can do it, so long as you understand how the block works. I wasn't 100%, and thus it didn't do exactly as I wanted. It just chucked them on the ground. But if you tell it which direction to place it from, so if you try to place it from the top, it'll have a place to put it. Oh, right. Forgot about that too. So yes, I could have been doing this the whole time. I just forget. But yes, the block gates could place the Wither Skulls. However, the big question is, can drones place blocks on nothing? Because if they can, I can give them directives saying, place a vein of redstone ore at these coordinates. Spider up above. I'll be able to tell them, place a vein of this shape at these coordinates, and it'll just fly off and do it. Or, if it can't place blocks on nothing, it'll just go, I can't do it, boss. And then I'll have to do much more fandangled things where I have them place the stone that goes underneath of the veins. Place all the stone that goes underneath the veins, and then the veins, and then more stone. Which would be rather frustrating, but doable. There's nothing wrong with doing that sort of thing. Ooh, we are way out of water. You've been yelling at me this whole time, haven't you? Hello, spiders. So, yeah. That's the goal. I want to be able to use the drones to remove all of this dust. I want to use the drones to place all sorts of ores, and then place a layer of dirt over top, put some grass on it, and make this world, you know, a bit more habitable. It still might look a bit dingy. I know the grass is not as green as in most biomes, but it'll be better than just dust, dust, dust everywhere. And then once all that's done, I can start working with planting some trees, repopulating the animals, and all those sorts of basic world type things. If you've got some sort of suggestion for any part of that, please let me know. The biggest trouble with using the drones to do this is there won't be caves. There won't be cave systems automatically generated, because making those sorts of organic shapes via drone programming is not easy. It's possible. Almost anything is possible, but it would be a lot of work to get a nice serpentine shape from a drone program. So if I wanted to have caves, I would likely need to mine them myself, which I could totally do. It's a big project, but I don't mind big projects. Speaking of big projects, Project Genesis is likely going to be very large and very repetitive, but I really want to do it. So it might require that I not record crash landing as often, because it's big and complicated and not particularly photogenic. If you want to see the whole thing, let me know. I can record whatever you like. But I don't anticipate that being, you know, riveting YouTube footage. So I either record that and just say, hey, this is nice and boring, but that might be what you're into. If you're a Zen master, just watching someone place blocks like this might be the best time you've had in ages, because it's just nice, calm, relaxing, repetitive stuff. But you might be a middle schooler with ADHD, and you've been gone for 25 minutes now, and we've only been going for 15. This might not be your cup of tea. So if I don't record that, you still probably want me to record something. Crash landing is the most popular thing on my channel, except for maybe the Shadows of Brimstone unboxing. So if you want me to record something that isn't Project Genesis slowly but surely progressing, it'll likely be something smaller that I can get done in an episode or two. I don't have any little plans like that at the moment. But if you had something you wanted to see me do, if you had a contraption you'd love to see me make, if there's something you're not sure can be done that you'd like to see. Let me know in the comments, and I will look into it. Because a nice small project would be good, because then I can keep working on Project Genesis. You'll see it slowly but surely take shape. But you'll also have nice little projects that you can see go along as we go. The problem with the end game for me is I tend to have nice, huge, grand project ideas. And, well, those take a very long time, and I don't necessarily have all the time in the world to do the prep work for these recordings. With the quest book, it was much easier to have nice, short-term, tiny projects that I can just come on here, do, and have it be at least mildly entertaining. The end game, when you're working on your own, you're like, well, I could do this, I could do that. Ooh, I could reclaim the city and make this entire place really nice and beautiful. Well, that's a huge project. Reclaiming the planet, reclaiming the cities, all of that is huge. It'll take a long time. But it's still worth doing. We just need something interspersed that'll be entertaining, but not, you know, super crazy difficult. Okay, do we have... Yeah, we've got enough for this. Oh, not sure we've got enough for under these conveyor belts. I tried to measure out how much cobble I would need for this, but it probably isn't enough. Here we go. So yes, if you've got any small quest or project ideas, feel free to leave a comment with them. I'd be happy to do most of them. I know Generic B asked for similar things. Oh, right, I was going to build that restaurant. I think the restaurant might be a nice smaller project. Because that I can do little by little. I can set up the applied energistics to keep everything in place in the middle. I can start the growing of the crops underneath. I could set up a livestock farm underneath such that I can use the actual ingredients and not have it be vegan. Jetpack. Come through. Oh, and Power Station Omega still hasn't fired a second time yet. I've still got tons and tons of power over there. It's not really hooked up to anything, and even if it were, that's way more power than I use for anything. So until we set up the mining laser, it's highly unlikely that's gonna fire again for a long, long time. But once it does, it'll be firing relatively often, because the mining laser takes tens of thousands of RF per tick to generate its ores. It takes, what is it, 1 million per ore? Something. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's a lot. And I'm starting to get well known for not looking at the numbers too carefully. So, yeah. It's a lot. And once that's in place, we'll start using up that power. We'll start getting more nether stars, and that will lead to a project that I've got in mind for down the line that uses the surplus nether stars. Once that project is done, then I can either disable the second wither or cook up the second star as it comes in. Ooh, let's put our water back on. Oh, hello, water from our old-timey pneumatic craft setup. So yeah, I could cook the second nether star when it comes in once my secondary project that uses nether stars is done, but that's still at least a little ways off. So those are the sorts of ideas I've got. That's the way this series is going to go. And starting on, I believe the server launches on Saturday. But after Saturday, likely on Sunday, I will be starting a vanilla multiplayer series. I will do my best to have it not interfere too much with everything else I'm doing. I already have a Blood Bowl series. I did an unboxing, which likely won't be an actual series. It was just a one-off sort of thing. If I get interesting things in the mail, I'll do little unboxings so you can see. So yeah, I've got a lot of things going on, but starting this weekend, I will have a vanilla multiplayer series that'll be starting up. I know there are a lot of people who don't necessarily enjoy watching modded, but Crash Landing is a lot of fun for me. So I'm gonna do some vanilla, which is also really fun. I do enjoy redstone stuff. I enjoy the resource gathering. I enjoy automating what I can in vanilla. So that should be an interesting series. It'll be with other people on a server, so it isn't just me going, hello spider, hello zombie. I can actually talk to real people, interact with real people, have interactions, pranks, all sorts of things going on. So I'm hoping that'll be as entertaining as this is. If you're only into modded and this is just going to clog up your sub box, I'm sorry. Let me know if that's the case, because if all of you are here just to watch modded stuff, then I could just do modded stuff. If you enjoy vanilla as well, then good. We'll have a good time. But that's all the time I've got for this episode. Off camera, I'll put in the conveyor belts, and you can see I've got the slaughterhouse and the harvester in here. I'll set up the slaughterhouse and the grinder right in here in a way that I'll be able to switch between them. The harvester, I need sludge, so I'll put it likely on those. I might make another little garden somewhere else. So slaughterhouse and that, that'll get me the meat, the pink slime, and the sludge. I might need milk for that quest as well. If I do, that's not a problem. I've got cows. But that's all the time I got. Hope you enjoyed this episode. It was mostly talking, but it'll keep you enlightened as to what's going to be going on in the near future. And once Project Genesis gets going, yeah, I need to get rid of the dust out there too. You'll be able to see that gaping hole, and then I'll start filling it with redstone and stone. And if you've got a stone generator design for the stone generator race, please submit it in the comments. And I will see you in the next episode of Crash Landing with Light.